Hello guys, Lit here. So in this video I'm testing Alva. This is one of the favorite strategy this league. So I want to compare it with Blight and Abyss. So I'm testing few different setup, and I think I have two setup that I want to showcase on this video that I think is pretty good. But before we go into the setup, if you think about this strategy is number one, you will need gold. This is a helmet that's going to give you increased effect of shrine and also increase your durations of your shrine. Now this is really important because we are playing with Shrine of Evolution, so the longer duration you have for your shrine, the longer you can benefit from it, and the ideal scenario is with the duration of your buff, you're able to do all the alpha within that durations of the buff, which is you need to be pretty fast to do that. So having a goal increase the duration of the shrine will helps, and also there's a rune graph that also going to give you another buff durations. So for the maps, this is the map that I'm using. I'm using Dune. You don't have to use Dune, you can use other map, but just make sure that the map you're using is small. And Dune is pretty small and there's also open space, so it's really easy to find all the alpha, and the smaller your maps, the less distance between your alpha, the less time you will waste walking around one alpha to another. So, and this is important because of the evolution shrine buff duration that I'm talking earlier. And for the map itself, I'm looking for 140% currency, and I'm looking for around 35 to 40% pack size minimum. The pack size make a lot of difference for the alpha. Get as much quantity as you can, like around 110% probably is the minimum. And another thing about the maps is there's a one map mode that you cannot do, which is player buff expire faster. You have to filter this modifier out because it will reduce your evolution shrine buff by a lot. I think with all the expensive modifier on the Atlas, your buff will instantly gone. So the player buff expire faster, that mod you have to exclude out from the maps. And the last one is you put one delirium orbs. This will give you more monster and a little bit more quantity. So for the Scarab, I'm using Incursion Scarab of Champions. This with the Atlas 3 point for the alpha. This will make all the monster inside the alpha become magic. And then I'm using one Domination Scarab of Evolutions. The Evolution Strength buff will give you a chance. Whenever you kill a magic monster, it can come back as a rare monster. And then I'm using one Beyond Scarab of Invasions. This, every time you kill a rare monster, it will spawn bunch of Beyond Portal, and that will give you a lot of Beyond monsters. So that basically the synergy on the strategy. And that's 4 Scarab is basically mandatory. And the last slot is the one that you can kind of play around. And there's a 2 Scarab that I would recommend for this strategy. The first one is Scarab of Wish, and it will give quantity, rarity, or currency depending on which color of the wish on the monster get. That one is random. And the second one is Scarab of Monster Lineage. This will increase the magic pack size, and do not use Bloodline, because when I try Bloodline, the magic monster on the area seems to be increased, but I don't see a big difference inside the alpha. I don't know if this is a bug or this is just how it works, but Bloodline is not really make a lot of difference inside the alpha. And there is another script that you can try on. For example, like number one is Nemesis. This is the one that I see a lot of people use. For the setup that I'm using, Nemesis doesn't really do much. Maybe because the map is not good enough. Like if I have like high pack size and you put like Maven Chisel that increase pack size, Nemesis will behave a lot more different, but for the setup that I'm using, Nemesis doesn't really do that much, at least based on the testing. It's lagging behind Whips and Lineage by quite a lot. So this is the Atlas 3 that I'm using. It's the same with what most people do, just because it's very heavy on point. So there's not a lot of room that you can play around with it. So I just stick with this one because I think this one is perform the best. And for the map device, there's a 2 options you can go for. For me, I'm going for Settler. Because I'm hunting for the Bismuth Ore. The Bismuth Ore make a lot of difference in the alpha. Another map device you can use is Dominations, and that will give you an additional shrine. The more buff you have, the stronger your character, the faster you can clear the maps, especially the idea. But I think Settler will be better for loot. So that's the setup that I'm using. Next one, let's talk about the number. So for the cost per map, it's actually pretty low. It's 0.6 defined per maps. And for the loot, this is the loot that I get from all the sessions. It's pretty good loot, and you get decent amount of unique too. So if your character have a lot of rarity, you probably can get some T0 here and there. It's pretty good amount of unique. So here is the profit from the test that I did. From the double evolutions, that is the lowest one because that's the baseline, and I really do not recommend go for double evolutions. If you have to go for double evolutions, meaning you're not fast enough, going Abyss is probably a better idea. And the second one is using Whips. We got 44.3 defined profit. And for the lineage, we get 42.4 divine profit, which is pretty close. Lineage actually perform a lot better than I thought. And for the divine per hour, this is where your speed going to make a lot of difference. Now for me, I put here is 6 minutes. I think my average job build on like 5 minutes, but it's pretty hard to get 5 minutes, at least with my build. I'm playing minion build, and I think 5 minutes should be your minimum. For examples, like if I change everything in the 5 minutes, now the result is actually comparable or like at least competitive with Blight and Abyss. But I decided to put here 6 minutes because I think 5 minutes is pretty hard to do based on my testing, and you need to be really fast, not in terms of like just build, but you also need to do your map pretty efficiently. Like you need to clear fast, take altars, like loot and everything. You need to get as fast as you can, because speed on this strategy is really make a lot of difference. It's very different, for example, like Abyss. For Abyss, because the Abyss give you a lot of like Divine, give you a lot of Faldo, the speed doesn't really matter as much. You still lose profit the longer you do the maps, but it's not as bad as this strategy. So for Alpha, speed is really important. So if you want to do this strat, you need to get at least 5 minute minimums on your maps. So that's Alpha. I'm personally not really liking this strategy that much, because so for Alpha I'm not really able to chill. Like even on Blight I don't really trying to like, you know, push things around, but with Alpha, because the speed is really important, I end up feeling like I have to keep moving fast and again, so I don't really like the strat because of that. If you have a really fast build, this is probably not a big deal to you, and if your build is fast, you still need to play efficiently. So that's the biggest downside for me for this strategy. Other than that, I think the strategy is pretty fun. Like the Alpha is pretty fun. The monster, you have a lot of monsters in a very small room, so if you have any explosions, for me I get my explosion from my animate guardians. It just feels really good, just clear all the monster. That aspect is pretty fun. It's just the speed is the one that kind of haunt me. So I think that's all I have for today. And as usual, if you guys have any questions, leave in the comment below. I will try my best to answer it. And thank you everyone for watching. I will see you in the next one.